everyone. Welcome to Valentin Consulting's YouTube channel. Here I am, Dr. Daisy Valentin. I'm the CEO and founder of Valentin Consulting, and we have a special guest today. We are so excited to introduce Juan C. Borrero Gomez, CEO and founder of Icon Improvements LLC. Juan, tell us a little bit about you and how you founded Icon Improvements.
Thank you so much, Daisy, for this opportunity. Well, it's been a long journey since I left one of the previous corporations I worked for, Tyson Foods, in 2017. But my idea to become to have my own consulting company started more or less in 2010 when I was working for Walmart corporate. I remember that day, in that particular time, my boss started to show me how to manage people, how to improve work efficiency, things like that. And then during 7 years after leaving Walmart, after 7 years, my idea started to increase. And then in 2017, we moved here to Orlando, Florida, with my wife, and basically the idea become reality. That's more or less why I decided. And actually, during that time, since 2017 and before the pandemic, it was quite interesting. I have had clients just only by LinkedIn, and I did some consulting jobs, but then the pandemic hit. And it was basically the time for me to learn how to market myself, how to build a web page during the confining time, like 3-6 months here at home. And then that year, I basically founded the Icon Improvement Consultants LLC here in Orlando.
That is amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing because we all had struggles with COVID, right? COVID shift us to different ways and different things that made us think about, our careers, our opportunities. I remember when you founded Icon Improvements. It was so exciting, and I had just moved to Minnesota too, so it was kind of like, where did I go? Why did I leave? Right? But I knew you had an opportunity there, so it's so exciting that you did that and you took it upon yourself to create Icon Improvements. So, tell us a little bit what made Icon Improvements before we go into our topic today of what we want to talk about. But I want our audience to know how important Icon Improvements is to organizations out there, because they just don't know how important it is, the work that you do. So give us a little taste of that.
Yeah, actually, the idea of the Icon Improvement is to help medium and small businesses to become sustainable. And that's the key of my company. Actually, I have had a couple clients, small businesses, and only two big businesses that I share my services to help them to make a process improvement processes inside of those companies. And that's basically the goal in my company, not only teach and implement some type of training in continuous improvement, but at the same time, give them some type of key elements of how to build a trust company environment, how to build that environment inside from the ground up. This is more or less what I do with my company.
Awesome. That is amazing because many small, medium businesses, especially in our Latinx community, I'm just going to throw it out there, right? In our Latinx community, they don't know what they don't know, right? They don't know about the resources and the people that are out there that can provide these services, not just big ticketed name items, right? I know you have some companies out there that you have worked for. Can you talk about a few of those companies that you have worked for, so people know that just because you're targeting small medium businesses, there's other organizations, like you said, you came from Walmart, but what other organizations have you recently been involved with?
Okay, in the consulting part, actually prior COVID, I started my consulting part with Siemens, which here in Orlando it was like a 6-7 months contract, and then in the after COVID, because COVID damaged many things. Let's say between 2021 and today, I have had two consulting opportunities. One with a small company called Liquid Lights here in Central Florida, and the other one was with a big company, and the company is Walgreens in a distribution center. So obviously, two different elements: one big corporation, one big company from corporate American, and a small company like the Liquid Lights, and they have like 30 people working there. Uh, and actually, it was quite interesting because when I talk about small companies, the successful part that I had with Liquid Lights was impressive because the people were open and open-minded to change, to build the company from the ground up, and they are sustainable. They are gaining a lot of profits because they organize everything, not only management. They organize the production floor, things like that. In the other
So they're
hand,
being innovative. They're being
yeah,
innovative.
in the other opposite side is Walgreens. It was a distribution center, and it was, let me tell you, it was the most toxic environment that I ever been. And today, since I left, because I had the contract for 1 year, and then
Hmm.
after I left, I told my wife, you know what? I can assure you that this company will close, or this distribution center will close in the next couple of years. Guess what?
They're
1 month
closed.
ago, Walgreens decided to close that place because that's
And
the
they're closing in a lot of places, right? They're closing a lot of places because they don't want to embrace technology, innovation, and resources. And if you notice, that is a trend that's happening with a lot of companies right now, right? A lot of companies that are not embracing change and not embracing innovation, not embracing any improvements, as we say with your company, Icon Improvements, to bring in those improvements to help their organizations strive and exceed. And that's something, it's really important because even here at Valentin Consulting, we're all about their accounting and financing and managing their accounting and finance to help them get a more profitable business. But that is something that they need to have in place too, just so that they can, right? They can improve with and make their profits grow too, right? So it goes hand in hand with what we offer too, because we do the money side, but you do the improvement side, right? The innovation side to help them increase those profits. So that is amazing.
Let me tell you something small, real quickly. So in Walgreens, it was the big red flag. Two little things. First, one day in a meeting, one of the managers says, "Well, he here in this distribution center, every single manager needs to work 24/7." And I thought, for real, 24/7? And where is like a work-life balance, And the other issue was, for example, I advise in terms of become more diverse the environment, and decrease the number of accidents inside of the distribution center, to put signs in both English and Spanish. And guess
To
what the
decrease that, right?
guess what the answer? No, no. The person who basically was in charge of that distribution center said, no, no, they need to learn English. That's why they came to America. Seriously? Come on. In Walmart, every single distribution center, we had 7 different
Walmart, Amazon, Target,
languages.
all these top dog companies, you know, we are not sponsoring them, we're not advertising them, we don't, I'm just saying, we're just saying their names. But this brings me to what we're talking about today. I'm glad you started with that. I'm glad you made that comment, because you gave us the topic today of building a positive work environment, and I think that's really good, exactly what you said. And I would like to ask you a few questions, and for you to just give us some, tips on this, and what your take is on it. So one of the first questions that we have for you is, what are the key elements of a positive work environment, and why are they important for employee satisfaction and productivity? So, let's start with the first part of that question. What are key elements of positive work environment? I think you hit something on that just briefly with what you said about the diversity and bringing in the signage. I don't even think it's just English, Spanish. I think we should have various languages, because it's not just English and Spanish, right? Of
Yes,
employees. So what can you tell us about that?
well, there are a couple of key elements in this type of things that include like an open communication in terms of work-life balance. The example I gave you, the manager who said we need to work 24/7, recognition and rewards. And this is quite interesting topic, recognition and rewards, because when we're talking about that, many companies, what they do is, for example, and I have to put that example of the company I told you that basically closed here. One of the monthly recognition and rewards was like a $25 gift card from Wawa, or a gas station. And I thought, I mean, people who are working there basically in a difficult environment, and you guys, the best employee, is only $25. Seriously, it rewards in gasoline? That's not fair. And actually, another opportunities in terms of or key elements, contributing a much better and a positive work environment is opportunities to growth, for example,
Mm-hmm.
a, a supportive leadership, which is today, in many companies they don't have this support from leadership. A positive work culture, a trust team environment. Each of those elements obviously contribute every single day to enhance a good atmosphere in this in the place of work.
And something with that is, a positive work environment also involves having diversity, equity, and inclusion. I think that's where you're just touching on right there. If you're hiring people in different ethnicities and different cultures, you should be able to cater to those areas.
Mhm.
That way the positive environment stays there. Now, I want to bring you to this other piece of that question, because it seems like it comes with it. And it says, why are they important for employee satisfaction and productivity? I think you touched briefly on that, but give us a small comment on how it's important for employee satisfaction and productivity.
I mean, in this case, when we are talking about employee satisfaction, is how your leader is managing you as a person. Like if you, for example, if you have fear to talk, I mean, perhaps you have a toxic environment. So,
Hmm.
for example, I remember one day time ago when I was traveling to Colombia. I was in one of the airlines here at MCO Airport here in Orlando, and one of the agents at the gate, uh, she screamed and she said, "Step aside, sir. I haven't called your group yet." And it was so loud. So, and then I thought, and I was pretty close to that guy. This person got scared.
Hmm.
As you all know, I mean, this type of, if you go before the group is called, is one of the most serious crimes today's date, no? And actually, I spoke up and I told you, excuse me, man, why you cannot treat us like human beings, like in a polite way. And one of the things that she said, sir, this is the rule here. Nobody can break those rules, even myself.
Yeah,
What
but
that
the rule is not to yell at people.
what doesn't mean is that this person, they don't feel safe in that work environment, because if
Mm,
he breaks the rule in a little part, she will get fired, which
mm.
means they have no good leaders that will help you to become mentors. The reason why we love to fly Southwest, for example, is not because they have a magical formula. It's because the people who work there, they feel safe, they feel happy, and
They have support. They have
have
they
some.
have diversity, equity, and inclusion. I bring it back. They know that community is big, right? They know that their environment is their culture is surrounded by the people that they serve, and that's something that a lot of companies don't have, right? A lot of companies need to improve. Now I'm going to skip to another question, and we might have enough for one more question here. And I'm going to stick to I'm going to run into importance of continuous improvement processes because that's what your company is all about. So I have a question here, and I think it's really good for any business that's watching this video and watching this video channel that understand that you know what your company does when it comes to continuous improvement processes. So why is continuous improvement crucial for long-term success of small businesses, medium businesses, large businesses? I think it doesn't matter what type of business. Well, so why is continuous improvement crucial for long-term success?
So, for example, as we said, continuous improvement process. The key is in process, because it's a process, and the process will take time. And this process is crucial for a long-term success for small businesses. They can foster adaptability, they can foster operational efficiency, and they can foster sustainability, right? So, for example, let's say in terms of adaptability, small businesses, they can quickly adapt to new changes, to new markets, to customer needs, to industry trends. For example, in that particular case, the idea of continuous improvement, you have to help those companies to build that mindset and ensure that the business will respond with the changes that today's date we have in the actual market,
Mm-hmm.
right? For
Mm-hmm.
example, the other way to go is increase efficiency and cost savings. And for example, when I started in this small company last year, their sales, they were they were bad. They were bad, and I started basically, and I finished the consulting part last February this year, and they improved the sales in a 70%, because they were open to changes, open to learn. And one of the key elements, not only in the team that we were talking at the beginning, but one of the
Mm-hmm.
key elements is to implement and give training to employees, right?
So it can continue, right? So
Please,
even though you're not there, your contract is up, that continuous improvement continues to flow, right? The training, the different things. So you provided those examples. So what are some of the obstacles that these companies face when they're trying to implement these continuous improvement processes? I know you said that I know one of them is because if they're not open-minded, right? If they're not open-minded, they don't want to take the improvements or the processes that you're trying to implement. But what are some other common obstacles that could hinder companies? Like I said, it doesn't matter if small, medium, or large, right? That when that these companies face when trying to implement these continuous improvement processes.
let me tell you, and it came back to the first question, and one of the big inconsistency is the lack of leadership and the lack of
Mhm.
support. So, for example, leadership involvement is to ensure that the leader and the leadership is actively involved in the continuous improvement in initiatives and supporting the employees at all cost, right? So,
Mhm.
for example, let me tell you a small example. In this case, the lack of leadership. For example, a time ago, I was in Colombia in one of the hotels, and I went to have a cup of coffee, and I started to talk with the employee. This person, she was so friendly, open-minded. Every question that I asked her about the hotel, she replied back in a smart way.
Mhm.
And I asked her, eh, "Do you how do you like this job? Do you like to work here?" And without thinking, she said, "I love to work here."
Mhm.
You know, that for me that's huge
Mhm.
because love is something that is coming from your heart, right? But
Mhm.
many people you can ask and they said, yes, I like my job because I like my paycheck, I like the people I work here, I like the benefits. Do you love your wife? Yes, I like her a lot. This is a big difference, no?
We only like our wives, do not love our wives. That's a good one.
that's,
That's the
that's a
same
big
way with a job, right? Because basically our jobs are our wives or husbands.
Totally. And then with that type of situations, another obstacle is the resistance to change,
Mm.
right? And because we
Mhm.
have that resistance, employees they don't want to be part of the team of that particular training. That's why companies, small companies, they have to invest in an effective communication,
Mhm.
involve employees in the entire process. And actually, all of those things start from the top bottom, basically management, and
It's
then all the,
backwards.
yes, it's
It
backwards.
goes backwards. It doesn't start from the bottom top. It starts from the top bottom. So
Totally.
when you're talking about that, and I'm going to give you a last question because we only got about a few minutes left. We have one person watching, so that's really good. But we'll have more later watching us as more we take it out. But the one thing that you're talking about, top to bottom. So how can leaders effectively communicate their vision and values to build trust and engagement among their team? So you're saying it starts from the top going to the bottom, right? Because it has to start with the top management, right? CEOs or CFOs or whoever's at the top. But how can those leaders effectively communicate that vision and values and build the trust so that way their lower employees know that they're feeling you know, that they feel like they're worth something, right? Because, like you said, if an employee is feeling loved, or if an employee is feeling liked about the company, then there's no love there from to upper management. So how can they be more effective in their communication?
So in this case, we need to keep in mind that it's a leader responsibility to set an environment. Leadership is not being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of those in charge. Leaders are not responsible for the results. They are responsible for the people who are responsible for the results, right?
Mhm.
And for example, sometimes many people ask, even I had that question at the school here when I was teaching one of the business classes. uh, how can get the best of our employees? And that's a flow question because
Mhm.
I mean, and in this case, you could get flow answers. Employees, they
Mhm.
are not like a towel that you can rinse them out and bring the best. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
and every time is a process, which is basically
Mhm.
leadership is a lifestyle. And even when
Mhm.
you achieve your goal, even when you get into shape, for example, you have to keep working during the time. And I told him, you know what? It's the same thing that you want to go to a gym. and work out for 4 hours to lose weight. And then next day you say, no, I don't want to get back. It doesn't work.
Or you eat a big old McDonald's sandwich and then you're saying you're going to go to work out. That's true. I mean, because leaders have to continuously be learning and building their processes themselves, improving themselves, because you are just as good as anyone else as a leader, right? And I think having effective communication also shows the culture of that organization. So depending on the organization starts with management and how the management is bringing in that communication effectively to build the culture. Because I feel, as a leader myself, I feel if I'm training people and I'm building up people, and if the people leave my company and move on to something better, then I've done my job. Right? It's not that they don't love my company. It's just that I did such a good job that they can go somewhere else and make more money. But a lot of people get upset about that. Management, upper management, they get upset about that. And what they don't realize is, like you said, it's a continuous improvement process. Because if you're continuously improving your business, your strategies, your innovation, everything for your business, then you are going to have good people that, if you don't take care of them, or even if you do take care of them, they leave, right? They leave because, or they open their own business, or they become a CEO of a bigger company, So it all depends on how, small and medium and large businesses, I'm going to say the three, really see how effective, you know, continuous improvement processes are. Now, Juan, I want to say thank you so much. And in our last second, I want you to tell everybody how they can reach you. Um, and we will be posting this, like I said, we'll be posting this. Make sure you hit the button subscribe so you can check out all our videos. But I also want Juan to tell us how they can reach you through your business, whether it's a website, a phone number, email. We'll be posting that with the video today. But we want you to tell us, what are you looking for? Who are your most important clients? What are you looking for? And we will close it with that.
Yeah, actually, they can reach me out at iconimprovement.com. That's my webpage, and they can basically send me an email and check the webpage, and I will get back to them as soon as I can. Today's date this year, it's been a little bit difficult. I don't have clients like the last year. I'm still teaching in Southern New Hampshire University business classes and Everglades University, but all the time I'm pretty open to discuss anything related to continuous improvement. And actually, one of the things that I would like to finish and let the people know that they need to keep in mind that continuous improvement is a process that creates foundations for innovation, for sustainability for any company. And that's my goal for my consulting firm.
Awesome. That is so wonderful. We want to say thank you so much for spending this time with us. And this is Valentin Consulting. This is our YouTube channel. We're going to be bringing so many great speakers to come here and give you guys different advice, give everyone advice about small businesses like Juan, improvements for your business, building a positive environment. So don't miss out. Make sure you subscribe. Weekly, we will be having updated events happening, updated guests. So don't miss out. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.